Hey guys, today I just want to explain to you Australia's physical activity and sedentary behaviour guidelines. It's not only Australia's guidelines but also the World Health Organization guidelines, just based on promoting a healthy, active life. There are nutrition guidelines as well, which I'll go over in another video, but today we're just going to look at what kind of movement and how much movement we need to be getting on a daily basis and a total throughout the week. So the guidelines state that we need to accumulate as a minimum 150 to 300 minutes of exercise per week. Now that's just moderate intensity, so just a slightly elevated heart rate, a little increase in respiration, but that's not high intensity work. So 150 to 300 minutes, 2.5 to 5 hours a week. So if we can go for a brisk walk, 30 minutes, get the heart rate up a little bit every day, or if that happens throughout your daily working life or whatever it is that you're doing, that's awesome. We can accumulate that through our work week. It doesn't have to be specified specific exercise by itself. So, you know, if you're someone who runs around after kids during the day, if you have a labouring job, obviously you're going to get your recommended activity levels there. Now, if you're time poor, high intensity exercise is a great time saver. We can get our heart rate up to a high intensity, a perceived rate of exertion 7 to 9. So, you know, a really fast beating heart rate, struggling to string a whole sentence together. That only requires 75 to 150 minutes per week. So the higher the intensity, the less duration we need to spend, and that's also going to get us our activity levels up to where they need to be. Muscle strengthening activities at least twice a week. Now these can be done specifically on their own. You don't have to go to a gym. You can do some squats and push-ups, some resistance band work at home. If you do go to a gym, that's awesome. Now you can combine the two. If you're doing circuit training, if you're doing CrossFit, F45, any sort of functional fitness, and your heart rate is elevated while you're doing the heavy lifting, yeah, that all accumulates to your weekly exercise total. A couple of little tips on minimising time spent seated. So minimise the amount of time we spend in prolonged sitting. So if you're someone who gets up every morning and does your walking or your training, that's fantastic. But if you then go home, drive an hour to work, sit for 8 hours at work, drive an hour home, that's 10 hours of seated, 10 hours of being seated per day, sorry guys. So we really need to break that up. So, you know, on the hour or every 2 hours, we need to spend 10 to 15 minutes on our feet. So standing desks are awesome. If you can go from seated to standing, you don't have to stand all day, but if we can break that up, if you can go for a little 5-minute walk just around the block, walk in your lunch break, that's awesome. We want to break up those prolonged periods of seating as much as possible. Obviously that's our next point. So, you know, if you just, the things that we do naturally, so if we get up, we twist our back, we roll our shoulders, we do a couple of leg swings, that's just going to break up that seated time and stimulate our metabolism to keep firing and keep us going. So that's it, that's basic exercise. Obviously you can go above and beyond the minimal recommendations, but if you make sure you're ticking this off on a daily basis and on a weekly basis, you're going to go a long way to having a happier and healthier body. As mentioned, dietary requirements and recommendations are in another video. Cheers guys.